Incident between Coulthard and Ralf Schumacher from a few moments ago.
Yes, DC really pushing his luck there. I think Ralf...
Next year. Oh, huge contact for Narain Karthikeyan.
He got up on top of the water into the braking zone. I think he is on the intermediates. That's why he just was floating, turned into a boat.
It's Massa. Is this what caused his problem? I think it might be about to come up. Yep. Collision there with David Coulthard.
Himself up and he tucks him up behind the back marker. Beautifully done. Barrichello comes in behind, hits Heidfeld.
Once again, here it is again in replay. Whack. How's the close rate?
Fernando Alonso, and as we now know, this is the contact between Davidson and Barrichello. Synchronised spinning.
Much slower, and as you saw, Jenson Button is out there. He's doing a good job.
Thank you, Ted. Into the pits anyway comes Lewis Hamilton. He goes straight on into the gravel track. Can he keep the wheels spinning? Can he get some momentum going? No, he can't. It's all going to get away from him. Who knows? Here's Lewis Hamilton. This is what happened before. That's when Ralf Schumacher spun out. That's a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, so that's the camera getting a whack from the spiker hitting the barriers extremely hard of Sutil. Currently in fourth place, has a think about getting around the outside of Felipe Massa, which would have been his brief. There's the shunt going on behind between Bourdais and Jarno Trulli. Another view of that. And there it is, Bourdais getting into the inside of Jarno Trulli. Great overtake there. Here's Glock, and clearly Heidfeld had no idea he was there. You can't...
Going down the back straight in practice.
Okay, so Liuzzi drops it under braking and the rear end, right over the top. And that's, he sort of gearboxed himself into the side.
Here we go again.
The Sauber, he just drops it under braking as he pulls a downshift. And we're on board the Williams then, that sort of just finds its way around.
Nick Heidfeld getting around the outside of Paul di Resta and trying to squeeze him into the apex.
Sutil then takes that wide line in and Perez just slithers clean up the inside.
Well, that's just a step too far. We saw Perez trying to get around the outside.
Ah, c'était devant, voilà. Hop, regardez. Je sais pas ce qu'il y a eu là.
It's the start here from the cockpit of Bruno Senna, just set the new fastest lap, and oh dear, that's where the broken bits came from.
Got some clear air as we watch Mark Webber running, oh wow, got plenty of air underneath that, didn't he? Mark's coming up the inside, probably thinking his young teammate from the sister team, who really would like his job if he gets half right kink, and Perez just hasn't registered that. And I frankly...
Ik kan het bijna niet geloven. Ja. Paf door de grindbak. Veel te hard erin.
Wow, that's a wild move on a Formula One grid.
Yeah, the heaviest braking zone on the circuit. Maybe he was just going that little bit too fast.
The problem is that straight's so long that if you have got no brakes, you get...
As he puts the brakes on, it goes a bit to the right, then he tries to compensate for that, and in doing so, it snaps.
Yeah.
On Valtteri Bottas, and because of Raikkonen's move on Bottas, that allowed Massa to then get past his... Was the gap there?
Yeah, I think Maldonado was entitled to turn in. He'd arrived at the corner. Yeah, so he
hit the bump.
Yeah.
It was the bump that caught it.
Yeah. I think the DRS, a little bit, it's too far. It's too far to get round. I don't think he had to move that far left.
I didn't think Fiat came through like a madman, really.
No, I think Seb's going to have to take the rap for that. He then had contact on the other side as well. But
and this is where we see Lewis Hamilton going over debris and tangling with Felipe Nasser.
Yeah.
See a bit of debris coming at him that he can't avoid. Then Nasser getting out of the way, but he's going to get squeezed here. Like that.
And that's the underside one. He's turned in quite wide. I think he did actually get on the Astro. The tether's doing a fabulous job there at keeping the wheel somewhere near the car. Yeah, he did actually light it up on the AstroTurf and went straight to the scene of the accident. Yes, he is. I know, it's a different one.
Yeah.
We were looking at the wrong. I was looking at the wrong Sauber.
Bottas pits. He's gone onto the AstroTurf with his front right tyre. Oh dear. And as soon as he put his foot down, Martin, Hartley ahead of Gasly. Gasly gets very, very close, and Hartley was in the way.
Block up. Where does that leave him on the way out? And
Verstappen on the inside of Vettel. They have touched.
Max.
That was inevitable from the moment Verstappen decided to go for it. Running side by side, and then Danny Kvyat into Sainz, into Norris. A little bit of a sore back from that, I would imagine.
Yeah, it was just that bit of oversteer.
Drive, but we've no idea what it's like in the wet whatsoever, and that, Charles Leclerc, an absolute passenger.
Continue fighting through the next corner, and Sergio is the big winner. He goes through the inside here now. Thank you very much, everybody.
You just got to hang in there long enough.
You see on board, turns it in, looking okay. He's just picking up the throttle, just drops those right-hand tyres in, loses traction, bam.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Carrying a lot of speed through that corner and just spiking that rear wheel through the gravel, trying to keep you 1,000 horsepower.
So we're on board Lance Stroll here. Oh, it was before. Oh my goodness, it was well before. You know, they're all raring to go. Look at that.
Because it's not that he just slammed on the brakes. Ricciardo had to stop himself as best he could from going straight into the back of Oscar Piastri, and I think they might have touched anyway. And Lance Stroll had no chance of avoiding that. And this is what happened to Yuki Tsunoda.
All right, Kevin Magnussen, that was seriously